Hello everyone and welcome to Sunup. I'm Lyndall Stout. We join you today from the Eastern Research Station at Haskell for a trip back in time in this corn demonstration plot, 100 years back, to compare early day Oklahoma farming practices to what we're using now. Just over an acre of field corn stands ready to harvest, but this is neither ordinary corn nor an ordinary demonstration plot.
We have 3 heirloom type varieties, anywhere from 1840 to early 1900s, and then we have 3 new hybrid varieties that have just been released here in the last year or so.
That's 6 varieties, 3 heirloom and 3 modern, planted by Brian Pugh, Northeast Area Agronomist for the Oklahoma Cooperative Extension Service.
Under both new management, 2014 management practices, and 1914 management practices.
2 styles of farming, a century apart, all to commemorate the centennial of Extension in Oklahoma and the United States. Brian says Extension's roots inspired him.
In the infancy of Extension, the way that Extension got the information out to farmers across the United States was through corn clubs with children. And the children would take that information home to their parents, and that later became 4-H clubs. So I thought, what better way than with a corn crop?
To get started, he did some research.
I actually found a 1915 publication from Kansas that went through variety trials and different management practices of the day and showed which ways were best to plant corn, and it's so far different from what we recommend today.
For example, a century ago, 3-foot by 3-foot plant spacing was common. Nowadays, it's much closer, more in the neighborhood of 30 inches by 7 inches. As a result, everything's more uniform and the mature crop is smaller. It's not just the spacing and the resulting size of the plant and the ear that's changed in the past 100 years. We've learned a lot about the soil as well.
When I was researching this plot before we actually install this plot here, I did find, as I said, a 1915 Kansas Research Station publication. And the real interesting part, having a soil fertility background myself, was that there was basically 2 sentences in that whole publication about soil fertility. And it said if the plants look unthrifty after they come up out of the ground, add 8 tons of manure per acre. And that was the only recommendation made for soil fertility. And it's easy to see how far we've come from that now. Our knowledge of pH, our knowledge of phosphorus and potassium, the green seeker technology, which is revolutionary today, that allows us to more closely predict how much nitrogen we need to make optimal yield. These plants here in the older management style actually did not need any nitrogen, but again, we attribute some of that to wider plant spacings, and each plant is able to pick up more nitrogen from the soil.
As the senior superintendent at the Eastern Research Station, Rodney Farris is here every day. He got to help tackle the weeds that emerged as a result of the 1914 management style.
It was a lot of hard work hoeing that field, because the weeds was pretty tall because we couldn't get in there when it had rained, kept raining and raining. So we had to kind of wait till it kind of dried up so we could hoe the weeds out.
Evidence of just how far extension and agriculture have come, which for Brian may just be the best part of the whole demonstration.
And being able to see the advances that we've made through extension, research, and teaching for producers in Oklahoma, and actually being a part of that, knowing that I am a part of that, and maybe in 100 years they'll do one of these again and they'll look back and say, wow, it's so much easier now than what it was then.